Hi everybody, this is Dr. Susan Richards. I wanted to share a few testimonies with you of some of the most amazing healings and blessings that I get to see all the time. I invite you to join us at our live streams, our events in the Bay Area, because it's so wonderful to meet you in person and to be able to pray for you in person. And I love seeing, literally over the years I've been doing this, thousands and thousands of God's miracle healings. So I want to share with you a testimony of a woman who had a very common infection in the stomach. It affects millions and millions of people, not only in our country, but worldwide. It's called an H. pylori infection. And it's a bacteria that infects your stomach. It can dig into the lining of the stomach, the mucous membranes, cause ulcers, and it can cause extreme cramping, intestinal, abdominal pain, and even intestinal bleeding that can be very severe. It can land you in the hospital. And this woman that I prayed for had a very severe case. She literally could have ended up in the hospital. And she said, please pray for me. She said, this is a disaster. She said, I will end up super sick. I'll end up in the hospital if I don't get healed. And I prayed for her, and God completely healed her. I talked to her the next morning. She said every symptom was gone. She felt great. She said, God's healed me. She was very, very happy. It was wonderful. Millions of people have this. If you have these symptoms, you might have it too, and it might not even be something you're aware of. But God can heal everything with prayer. Another case, kind of typical of the things that people come to me with, was another woman who was having lots of recurring pain, voiding with urination, and turned out that she had chronic bladder infections that she just couldn't get rid of. Over and over again, if she wasn't on antibiotics, the infections would come back. And that's a real problem, because if you're on antibiotics, you get resistance to the antibiotics. It can cause side effects where you get fungus infections. It's a real problem to be on antibiotics all the time. We really don't want to be doing this medically. These are typical of people that I prayed for. So the blessing with her was, again, with prayer, God took away her infections. God can heal everything. There's nothing that the Lord can't heal. It's amazing. I prayed for a man who is having a lot of emotional pain from depression. He had had depression since he was a child. It's just part of his makeup. He said it's in his family. He said his whole family tends to be kind of a depressed family. Things are rough. They just have a hard time getting through life. And he said, please pray for me. He said, I've had this for years. I don't want to be sick with depression anymore. And I prayed for him, and he had a wonderful healing from the Lord. God took away all his depression, and he took away depression in the man's kids. And the family was really blessed by the Lord with a beautiful healing, not only of the man, but the family pattern. Finally, I prayed for another man who was really having struggles with fibromyalga. He was having a lot of pain in his muscles, his ligaments, his tendons. It was kind of all over his body. And again, it's one of these chronic things. He really didn't know what to do with it, how to work with it, how to treat it. And the wonderful thing was, with prayer, God took away this chronic pain that had been with him for a long time and relaxed his muscles, took away stiffness, took away tension, took away rigidity. And the man said, I'm feeling better than I felt for years. He said, even stress isn't bothering me as much where it would tighten me up or stress me out. He said, I'm feeling much better. And he was very grateful to the Lord. So I just want to share these testimonies with you because they're so typical of what God can do in our lives. And when we support His wonderful work with healthy living, healthy lifestyle, loving God, appreciating Him, and having healthy habits, we can see absolute miracles. So I want to thank you all